This is another episode of me documenting the day-to-day process that I am taking to achieve long-term consistency in the financial market. And today is Saturday. It's the weekend, so what do we do as successful, consistent, profitable traders? We go back and we review the week and we figure out exactly where we went wrong and exactly where we went right. So this week was actually the most profitable week that I've had on the eval. And that's simply because I'm just getting more and more comfortable with executing my playbook. I have one 6.49R trade that puts me up 6.95R on the week, or in other words, $866.07 in profit. And the best thing about this is that this is entirely repeatable, meaning I can do this the next time it presents itself. It's repeatable. I know exactly what I am looking for. And that's the best part about it. That's the part that gives you confidence. When you do something that is repeatable and you know exactly how you are operating, because you can do it again. And that's it. That's all trading is. It's you have one process, one system, one way of doing something, and you just repeat that. And if you don't know what that is, well, then you find yourself in a boom and bust cycle like I was for the last 2.5 years. But now we are finally breaking out of that because I've defined what it is that I do. So this is my best week of trading on the eval, and I'm not sure if I even want to mention this in this video, but this is the same week that my girlfriend of 6 years left me. She broke up with me last night, and here we are today. It was a bit of a slow day, obviously, as you can tell. I mean, 6-year relationship ended. And I've been with that girl for a really long time, since I was 14. I'm 21 now. So we basically grew up together. We thought we were going to get married. We shared a lot of dreams, but things fell apart. So the ebb and flow of life to me is just, it's beautiful. You know, the same week that I have my best week of trading on this eval is the same week that my girlfriend of 6 years leaves me. For the longest time, I thought to myself that the only thing I had left to sacrifice was her. Because great success requires great sacrifice. I've given up everything for this shit. Everything. I lost all my friends. I dropped out of my fraternity when I was in one in school. I became a completely different person. I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking. I stopped going out. I stopped partying. I stopped giving a fuck about anybody else but myself. And I put myself first, and I put my purpose first before anything else. And I really believe that the only thing left for me to sacrifice would be my 6-year relationship, to just really allow myself to soar and get to where I want to be. I want to be great. I want to be one of the best. I want to be at the top of the industry. But this saying is true. Your degree of success is equivalent to your degree of pain and suffering. The men who are the greatest, the men who are at the top, they have typically suffered the most. They've typically went through the most shit. And now I'm at a point where I don't know what else I can go through to get to where I want to be, because I've officially lost everything now. I've lost everything. Everything. It's all gone in pursuit of this. So I hope it's worth it. Fuck. Thing is, I don't have time. I don't have time to be sad. I can't. I gotta fucking conquer, bro. I got an empire to build. I can't let this shit stop me. The first thing that I did when I got home after she broke up with me is I went in my garage and I locked myself in my garage until I did 1,000 push-ups. But I physically could not do 1,000 push-ups. I did 624. So I did 624 push-ups in 2 hours. I don't even know what just hit me, you know. Usually I go for a run. I got home, I was like, fuck, what do I do? Okay, I'm gonna go for a run. Usually when something like this happens, I just go for a run and I just keep going and I don't stop. But I have a foot problem right now. I literally can't run, so it's like, fuck, what do I do? Okay, push-ups. 1,000 push-ups. Let's do it. So I went in the garage, locked myself in the garage. No water, no nothing. Just me, myself, looking at myself in the mirror and doing these push-ups and knocking them out. And just knowing that my life's about to fucking change. And for the better, I believe. Seriously. So, still crushing it, bro. Still knocking it out. Still moving forward. But yeah, I mean, I've lost everything in pursuit of this. So let's get into it. September 29th, 2025 to October 3rd, 2025, net P&L, $866.07. Performance stats. So the first thing that I do when I'm doing my weekly review is get a baseline understanding of how I traded for the week, and how I do that is just by looking at the stats that you see at the top here, the headline. If we go to this week, we can see that the net P&L is $866.07, but that doesn't really matter. What we want to focus on is the R multiple, because this is what really matters, how much we made relative to our risk. And I'm up almost 7 Rs, so I did fairly well, right? Trade win percentage, this is probably the highest win percentage week that I've had ever, besides one week that I had in in July, where I took 2 trades that week and they were both winning trades, and that was good. But 42% win rate, with the fact that I traded all 5 days this week, that says a lot, because typically when I trade more, I don't perform as well. But this week I traded more and I performed better. So I'm just getting more comfortable and more confident with my model, like I said, and my market approach and the things that I'm doing. It's the same thing day in, day out. And I'm looking for the same signatures, and I'm looking for prices set up the same way, because I've done the work. I've done all the backtesting work to understand exactly what it is that I am looking for. So if we go to Playbook Development, we go to Optimal Intraday Study Model, Optimal Intraday Swing Model Study System version 3, I've done the work of collecting a lot of samples, 101, and just restudying them. This is the 3rd time now that I've retested these examples to figure out and define criteria for each of the 8 playbooks that I have. And each of the 8 playbooks follow the same principles and the same concepts. It's just a language, a way of communicating to myself what I'm looking for in that particular session based on how the higher time frame narrative and market criteria is setting up. So putting those two together, and that arrives me at a bias for the day. But you see, I've done the work, and now it's just the application of that and just repeating that process, and it works. So that's it. And as a result, my win rate is increasing. My day win percentage is increasing. If we go to, in the session recap, if we go to market approach, and this is the second thing that I'm annotating or noting after performance stats, because this is what I used to struggle with the most. But because I knew it was my problem, and I knew that was what I struggled with the most, that's the first thing that I attacked when I started studying these playbooks. So this week, my accuracy was 4 out of 5 days correct. If we go to last week and we look at my accuracy on bias, I had 3 out of 4 days correct. If we look at the previous week, I had 4 out of 4 days correct, or 100%. But if we look at the weeks before that, what happened? 1 out of 3 correct. 3 out of 3 incorrect. Let's go here. 1 out of 4 correct, 2 out of 4 incorrect, 1 out of 4 indecisive. So what changed? The only thing that changed was me actually putting the work in to understand, okay, this is it. Okay, I have my model. The thing was, is I had my model lined out, right? The concepts that I trade, how I make sense of the market, it was all there. But it was kind of all just like floating pieces, kind of mixed in the abyss, right? As soon as I sat down and finally did the work of defining everything and making everything black and white, really simple, really obvious to me, that this is it. This is the criteria that make, if X then Y, if Y then Z, if A then C. For each of these playbooks, that is when my bias really started to take off. And that's when shit is really starting to click for me. So, bias improving. As a result, day win percentage, 75%. Trade win percentage, 42.86%. Now, the only thing that held me back this week was my inability to execute on these winning setups that I was able to frame, or the correct biases that I was able to frame. I'm just going to give a brief overview of this. I don't want this video to be too long. But how I held myself back this week, and this was literally the only way that I held myself back this week that I could find, going through and studying my daily process. Let me open up another tab real quick, because I could go back and study my daily process and tell you everything that I did for that day. So I did that, right? I went back through and I read each daily process, and that's starting with the optimal market approach, my trade plan, which has evolved over time. You see, it's even different between Monday and Tuesday, because I understand the problems that they have, and I'm directly addressing those by critiquing my market approach. So, for example, I'm getting very intentional with what is my trade plan for that day. And because I'm extremely aware of what my trade plan is, and I'm being very black and white with what is my daily objective, what is the level that I think the market can deliver for that day, I'm really able to execute on these ideas. It's very clear, very clean to me. But what I was talking about before, so I just go on these tangents and I literally just forget what I was talking about. But I executed 2 trades before my plan ever actually happened. So if we look at, go back to the daily reviews, we can just go from here too. Okay, this is Monday, September 29th. The daily journal is, if we scroll to the end, if I do my pre-market analysis, we can see that, was my approach correct? Yes, it was correct. Okay, I have a tag. I was bearish and correct on this day. So why am I selling short and still stopping out on the day that I had the bias correct? Why did I end up missing this move? Well, it's because I prematurely executed on this idea before my plan even played out. If we look at the daily journal, if I could go back to the daily journal, I could reference my pre-market plan for that day. My ideal sell scenario is a break above Wednesday daily high that tests consequent encroachment at the 4-hour inversion fair value gap and shows premium sensitivity there early into the open. Now, if I look at this trade, none of that even happens. This is the first loss that I took from my plan. I have to see that the market run above this buy side, right? But it never even does that. In fact, it primes it, which means that gives it a reason for it to come back down there. But here I am selling short at the market at 9:30. And then here I am again executing a second losing trade before the 10 o'clock driver even comes out. So a lot of the trades that I'm taking, the reason that they are losing trades is because I'm not aware that there's a 10 o'clock driver, and the real move tends to happen after the 10 o'clock driver when we do have a 10 o'clock driver. So on Monday we had a 10 o'clock driver. When does the real move come? It comes after the 10 o'clock driver. How do I know that? Because I can just reference, my pre-market analysis and see that, okay, here we had pending home sales, and here's the real move. After every single trading day, and especially on the days where I'm getting it wrong, I'm going back in and I'm studying what was the real move of the day, how would I have executed on it, where would I frame my stop, what would I have targeted, what time did it happen, and that's going into my daily price action log that I showed you in Notion. So you can see how everything ties together beautifully into one system. One thing that I do just day in, day out. It's the same thing. And I just repeat it. And by default, I get better. So I know why I fucked up on Monday. So I'm selling short before, number one, before my plan was even confirmed. And number two, I'm executing 2 and out. 2 losing trades and out before the 10 o'clock driver even came out. And the real move happened after that. This was the primary reason for one of my largest losing weeks in August. We had a week full of 10 o'clock drivers, and I'm trading before them almost every single day. Tuesday. This trade, not a problem with it. I would take this trade 10 out of 10 times. One of the crucial lessons that I learned from this week. If we look at my exits, partials saved grace this week, and this is the only reason that I am up. I created a new way of taking partials. So this is the new system that I'm going to be using, taking partials moving forward, because it worked this week. I'm booking my first contract with the absolute lowest hanging fruit objective that I know price can reach for. And then this affords me the choice to move my stop loss to break even, or hold on to open risk for the remaining 2 contracts to give it the most room to deliver the full take profit, or the final level that I'm confident the market can deliver. And then contract 2 out of 3, can come off at the next low-hanging fruit objective, or if I'm really confident that it's going to deliver the full TP, and by full TP I mean the objective that I've mentioned in my pre-market plan, with the final contract. I could take both of those off there or take it off at the next low hanging fruit objective. And that's the level that I have in my pre-market plan, that this is the daily objective. This is what we're reaching for today. So this saved a lot of losing trades. I should have lost a lot more money on this trade if I did not lock in that final contract. But for me, it was worth it to hold on to the risk, the open risk on the remaining 2 contracts to see if this would play out. Now, the only reason that I'm trimming this trade is because if you look back at the chart, what it looks like is I'm buying the market down right here, right? And we have this really large 5-minute gap that I could trade up into and reject and make a lower low and then reverse, which is what it did. So I'm going to make sure to be quick to lock in a partial inside this gap just in case I am incorrect, right? We want to lock in equity as fast as we can. Pay the trader, pay the trader, pay the trader, pay to the trader. And this prevents this trade from being a really, really large loss. Then the following trade. I can tell you everything about every trade. A lot of growth from this trade because typically what happens when I miss a move, and in this case I was sticking around after the 10 o'clock driver. I really wanted the market to make a new low a day, and I was extremely tight with what I wanted the market to do because it came down to the previous daily low and missed it by a tick. And usually when the market does something like that, it trades down there and removes that liquidity from the marketplace because that's priming of liquidity, because it's a reason to go back down there. So I was not trusting an entry in the inversion fair value gap. So I want to see the market make a new low a day. Obviously, it never did. I read the institutional order flow entry drill here, and that sign is strength there. And then the market leaves the range with this obvious gap, huge, large, obvious gap. Now I'm feeling frustration. I'm feeling resentment, like the market just did something, like, damn, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, and now it's just running to the objective that I was looking for without providing me an opportunity of getting inside. But because I'm aware of the objective that I have in mind for that daily range, which, if we look at my pre-market plan, confidently aim for Asia buy side, and above that, consequent encroachment of Monday premium wick. Now let's look after the fact of what happened, what really happened this session, and did the market deliver those objectives? Was I correct about those objectives? Absolutely. I don't have it recorded in this screenshot here, but it did end up reaching into Monday consequent encroachment of Monday's premium wick by the time that we closed. Before 6 o'clock, it reached up into this level here, so it did deliver that objective. Only after it did some bullshit down here. But I'm reaching for Asia, right? And it delivers Asia. Now I'm able to be a part of that because I am aware of the range that I am trading for. What has made me more resilient to putting on risk, what's made me more risk tolerant, is simply being aware of what target am I aiming for. Because before I was going in completely oblivious to what I'm even targeting. What am I even reaching for? I don't know. And obviously the risk behind any given position is going to feel like a lot. It's going to feel scary if you don't know the potential reward. But now that I'm aware of the potential reward and I can frame the trade based on the objectives that I'm reaching for in my pre-market plan, well, now it's worth the risk. Because now that $150 is worth risking for a potential $500 reward. You see what I'm saying? So it's worth the risk. In order for you to be risk tolerant, you have to know that that risk is worth it. And how do you know that risk is worth it? Well, you have to be aware of the range and aware of what you're aiming for. What is your objective for the day? What do you think the market can reach for? And once I'm able to frame that, then the risk behind any trade becomes insignificant because now I know that it is worth it. So what are the biggest lessons from this week? Let's just turn this into a trade-by-trade breakdown and get this over with. $206 loss here. And this is another instance of me executing before my daily plan even played out. If we look at the plan, and again, I can reference exactly what I was thinking for. I want to buy the market as it drops down, clearing out low resistance, and rebalances to a discount of the impulse swing made back inside the range. I'll look for signs of respect of the 1 hour inversion fair value gap to be a buyer. 10 o'clock drivers noted the potential for the real swing to come after that, which it did, and I was trading before that. So where I traded, if we look at the impulse swing that the market made here, it never rebalanced to a discount of that. Now the move that it made at 9:30, where it traded up here, we made this new high here. That extended this impulse swing that we have. And the market actually did end up rebalancing to a discount, so I framed the range here. But only after that 10 o'clock driver came out, right? This is when that 10 o'clock driver came out. So here I am trying to buy a drop back down into first presentation before the 10 o'clock driver comes out and before the market even delivers the plan that I'm looking for. I thought it had done enough here to see it run right from 9:30, which wasn't a terrible idea. but still not what I was looking for in my plan. And we did have that 10 o'clock driver. And then I was able to get on side with this move because it was worth the risk. And I'm not afraid to try it here because I clearly see the 5-minute inversion fair value gap after we have rebalanced that range, after we have traded back down into that hourly inversion fair value gap that I mentioned in my plan, which is this gray shaded box. We did not even trade to the upper quadrant, and now we're reacting off of that. Now we have a 5-minute inversion fair value gap, and that's in the price leg that removed the sell side from the marketplace. So I know that's a valid change in the state of delivery. We have this premium wick here that it overlaps, this large up range overlapped that, so trading back down in that should be met with discount sensitivity. And if we look at the 1 minute, we can see that the 10 o'clock candle, that on the driver, it opens, it trades down, but for the most part, it's still respecting the balanced price range. You see this little separation right here. And then we have a change in the state of delivery on the 1 minute. Now this is a bullish order block, and it shares the same range as that 5-minute inversion fair value gap. So I'm going to buy the market there because I know that it's reaching for this level here. I'm aware of the range. I know what we're reaching for. So an entry here on the inversion fair value gap, the 5-minute IFVG with the stop loss below the 1-minute order block makes sense. It is worth the risk. And now I have found a way to get on side, which means I don't have to buy the absolute lowest low if I know what the market's reaching for and I can find a way to get on side, right? So that's Wednesday. And then if we go to Thursday, extremely confident in the idea of lower prices, not looking for anything else. I'll just extract the lessons that I made from Thursday if we look at my playbook review. Best performing playbook. One presentation of this playbook, executed well, funds the entire month. Literally. I have grown extremely comfortable with this playbook. This is my best performing playbook. When I catch these moves, they swing, bro. They fucking swing. And they pay. They pay. And this is the first time ever that I was able to execute on this playbook. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 fashion. Checked all the boxes. I executed it perfectly. Literally got out at the low of day. Could not have been a better trade. I have been wanting to execute this playbook at this ability for so long. You know, when I was first testing this playbook and first realizing that, oh shit, like this happens over and over and over again, I was so excited to think about, damn, like one day I'm just going to be able to go in there and just walk it down. Every time it shows up, walk it down. Every time, walk it down, walk it down, walk it down. And here you go. This is the first time that I walked that shit down, and that shit paid, bro. That shit paid. $720 profit. That's the biggest trade on the eval. Huge R trade. That put me up. Equity curve exploded after that. But the only reason I can do that is because I've done the work. Because I've done the work to get comfortable with that. That's it, bro. That's it. That's fucking it. You got to put in the motherfucking work. So, least performing, best performing. Yeah, whatever. A lot of lessons, okay? A lot of lessons. Let's see how long the video is. 23 minutes. All right, cool. Honestly, I think it's going to be this for this one. I just covered, you know, a lot of solid, valuable lessons. I grew so much this week. Jeez, like, I mean, it's crazy. I had my best trading week ever. Literally. And in that same week, my girlfriend of 6 years breaks up with me. So, life is beautiful, man. I mean, just take a step back, be aware of it, and just accept it and take it for what it is, and just, learn what you can from it and move on. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her for leaving me. Seriously. I mean, I've pressed her into a mold for so long, and I've tried to get her to be somebody who she is not. And I knew that she was not the person for me, in a sense. And I was pressing her into that mold, so it just didn't work. It just didn't fucking work. And it is what it is. You move on. You learn from it. Accept it. All I can do is grow from it. And all I can use this as an experience to make me a better person. I'm going to take this and transmute it and use it to make me a better person, a better trader, a better man, a better boyfriend in the future for the following girl, whoever it may be. I don't know when it'll be. But this is where we're at right now. I'm trading at my best, and she left me. She left me right before I made it. So that's on her, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. None of it matters. I'm not going to sit here and try to change it. Not going to sit here and try to wish things were different. you got to live with your mistakes. You have to live with your failures, and all you can fucking do is grow from it. So I'm going to keep growing as a man. I'm going to keep growing as a trader, and I'm just going to keep evolving to be literally the best version of myself. Every man needs a little heartbreak in his life because it's a fucking canon event. It changes you, and this shit is already changing me. I can't stop thinking about it, but I'm still moving forward. I'm still out here making this video, right? I'm still being consistent with this shit. I'm not putting my head down. I'm not sulking. I still got a calendar to follow. I still got to execute shit, right? I even put the fucking breakup on the calendar. And then what did I do after that? 624 motherfucking push-ups. Be unbreakable. Be fucking unbreakable. Just be a fucking animal. Seriously. I need to get better at talking because it's sometimes it's kind of hard for me to put these things into the world. And this is what I planned out for this Saturday before she broke up with me. But guess what? Now there's more time for me to work, motherfucker. That's all it means. And we're going to be better. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep growing as a community. This channel is going to keep going. I'm going to reach 1 million fucking subscribers on this channel. I'm going to rise to the top of the trading industry. And now there's absolutely nothing holding me back. And now I have absolutely no excuse to get this done. I have no excuse to get this done now. I've sacrificed everything. I've lost everything on the way up. Now I got no choice to make it. I literally have no choice to make it now. So that's exactly what the fuck's going to happen. And nobody fucking believes in me. The only person that really believes in me is myself. That's it. She didn't believe in me. Now I can see it in retrospect that she didn't actually believe in me because she couldn't hold on to my promises. I promised her to give her the world once I made it. I never made it. So she said she can't keep holding on to promises. That's fine, girl. I understand. I'm proud of you. But it's time to move on. It's time to start a new life. And it's time to keep winning. I'm trading at my best. You know, I opened up my computer today, and yeah, I'm going through the breakout, but guess what? I'm trading at my fucking best, baby. Let's go. We're almost there, bro. We're almost fucking there. So close. So fucking close. So that's it for this one. I'm probably not going to be trading early next week because there's just no drivers. So I'll be filling in some video requests that I have gotten in the comments, and I'll be working on those. But you know, I didn't want to get emotional and shit on this video, but I mean, I just couldn't hold back. And I'm just going to be raw and real, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw it up there anyways because I don't give a fuck. I mean, I seriously don't give a fuck. I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. All I know is that I'm going to be the best and rise to the top of the industry. I'm saying this right now in these videos, and it's going to happen. That's the thing. It's going to happen. And now I have no choice. And now I have absolutely nothing holding me back. So I can't be stopped. And that's it. See ya.